Hey guys, and welcome to my cooling system practical video. This is my 2003 Master Speed Protege 2-liter turbo, and I'll just start off by giving you guys a tour of the location of some of the components. So first you can see our radiator right here, radiator cap. If we look over to the right there's my coolant overflow reservoir. I'm not going to show it, it's a little crusty. We have our upper radiator hose right here and our coolant temperature sender right there. If I go farther down, you can see my lower radiator hose, and the thermostat is right in here, and my water pump is right there on the bottom of the serpentine belt. I have a bypass. It's underneath the exhaust manifold, but it goes between those two. And then if I move to the back of the motor here, you can see I got the hoses going to and from the heater core, and my coolant temperature sensor is underneath my intake manifold. I also have a line right here going from the top of the radiator and the rad cap, and it goes into my reservoir. The radiator is a downflow radiator. I forgot to add that before. We have our fans, and the relay is located right here in the fuse box. So we have potential leak points in the system. It could come from a bad hose connection. These ones are sturdy. It could also come from a failed water pump. This one seems to be okay still. Another problem it could have is a broken radiator, but if I look at the crimps, there's no crusties hiding in there. It looks okay. So the coolant flow direction, upon startup, it will circle through the engine with the bypass at the thermostat and the water pump, and it will go through the water jackets. If I had my defrost going on a frosty morning, then it would be going through the heater hoses at the back there, making my window nice and visible. Upon operating temperature, the thermostat would open, and the already cooled coolant in my lower rad hose there would enter the engine, and it would also be able to exit past the coolant temperature sender in my upper rad hose right here. If pressure got too hot, then it would exit in my pressure relief line coming out of the radiator cap into my reservoir. So a condition that could happen if the thermostat was seized shut, it would cause the engine to overheat as it's just constantly cycling through the engine, getting hotter and hotter. If it were stuck open, however, it would never reach operating temperature, and it would always be running cool, which would be inefficient. If it were stuck partially open, then it would be a similar effect. It would take longer to reach operating temperature, so it'd be running a bit cool, but if you were to be driving it hard or under heavy load, then it would still overheat. So the difference between my car and a VW is I have a nice metal water pump. If you had a BMW, which is unfortunate, you would have a plastic water pump. And the problem with that is when it's belt driven, the impeller can separate, the pin will break, and you will not have any coolant flow going through your engine. So the problem with that is your engine would overheat, and if you have bubbles, you have troubles, as Herb once said. So that is the tour of my Protege. Thank you for watching.